Let's dip our toe into the cesspool known as TikTok again.
Remember, when you live in a capitalist society, no matter what you do, it's never enough. Why?
Because human desire is unlimited. That's true no matter what kind of society you live in. It's a fact of human nature. You'd think a professional therapist would know that. By the way, just so everyone knows, I'm not doing that vertical video crap that TikTok is foisting on the world. Put up with the pillar boxing.
Because your self-worth is directly linked to your productivity.
Oh, for the love of Mike, capitalism is just about economic transactions being voluntary instead of forceful. It has to do with how you interact with others, not how you feel about yourself.
Under capitalism, you derive value by doing something, not by just being human.
Why should you derive value by just being human? Just sitting there, metabolizing ADP into ATP and back, exchanging oxygen for CO2, what's the point? Humans are special because of the things we do. We have brains. We interact with each other. We say things and do things and make things and trade things. And we think. That's what makes us more than just another biological organism. What kind of therapist are you?
That feeling of guilt and not being good enough is going to pop up when you prioritize your well-being over work.
When you prioritize your well-being over work? Wait, are you saying we shouldn't prioritize our well-being over work? So are you saying we should define things by our work and not by our acts, opinions, friendships, or whatever? Please don't go to this guy for therapy. It sounds like he just feeds you anti-capitalist indoctrination, gaslighting you instead of treating you.
Comparing yourself to others and thinking, I should be doing more, or I should be further along, is a symptom of the system that we live in.
No, it's what everyone has always done. It's how we improve ourselves as humans. If it hadn't been for that, we'd still be back in the savannas trying not to die of disease, predators, and starvation to make our life expectancy of 19 so we can realistically have children. And as a therapist, you should know that. You should know the difference between behavior that's a product of our society and behavior that's inherent. If you're successful in inhibiting this characteristic in your patients, all you're doing is making it a lot less likely that they'll do well and live happy lives. But apparently, brainwashing people against capitalism is more important to you than their mental well-being. People never go to Gunther for therapy.
If you're making the very healthy decision of slowing down and focusing on your mental health during this incredibly traumatic time, capitalism will tell you to feel bad and question your self-worth.
What? No, it won't. Where are you getting this crap from? Show me the economics book that says that. And if you look at the empirical data, the happiness index trends higher in more capitalist countries.
Also, folks from a privileged background, me,
well, at least you admit it,
may face a ton of pressure to achieve because we're trying to live up to our family's expectations.
This is something that was way worse before capitalism. If you were in the upper strata, then from birth you were basically forced to take classes to learn how to walk properly, how to talk properly, and everything else. And you were massively punished if you failed to live up to their demands of you. And there wasn't any real way out of it. Your entire life was mapped out for you, and in many cases you didn't even have the legal right to leave it and go elsewhere. You couldn't even decide whom you were going to marry. With capitalism, there's a much greater sense of going your own way. A lot fewer families are putting that pressure on their children, and even of the ones that are, it's just pressure, not force. And when the kid gets old enough, they can strike out on their own. And there's less and less of that as time goes on due to capitalism. People are actively discouraging this behavior. For example, in movies like Dead Poets Society. And pushing a child to be a doctor or go into the military or whatever is becoming a thing of the past. Ask yourself, what do you think this guy's motivation is here? In fact, put your opinion in the comments. Why would a therapist want to say things like this to his patients and everyone else?
While that can be debilitating in its own right, others from less privileged backgrounds might be driven by immediate economic conditions.
What does that even mean? They'll have to find a job? That's just a silly comment. The interplay of short-run versus long-run concerns in different economic strata and conditions is something that's well studied. This guy would do well to read anything on the subject because he doesn't know the first thing about it.
Don't forget that capitalism and white supremacy are linked.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
Because they both rely on exploiting marginalized folks, and especially people of color.
Capitalism is what's allowed people of color to break out of poverty. In fact, black families were the most upwardly mobile group in America before the welfare state came in and held them back. It's often been shown by various economists that the welfare state did in 10 years what Jim Crow couldn't do in 100, destroy the black family. See my video, Systemic Imbecilism Explained, for more information on this and other government programs the left, not the right, not the capitalists, has passed to keep black people from succeeding. It's also chock full of examples of how entrepreneurialism made many blacks succeed, even becoming millionaires or billionaires. Once again, we see they just have to blame other people to cover up their own racism.
As a privileged white therapist, it's easy for me to forget to bring this up with my clients.
Somehow I doubt that. This seems to be the agenda you really want to push. But by all means, forget to bring it up as often as you can, because feeding lies about other people to your patients is something you should not be doing.
So unfortunately, you may have to start this conversation if your therapist is ignoring it.
And if you have a good therapist, maybe they won't gaslight you like this guy's doing.
And hopefully they know how to support you.
Better than you, I hope.
You can push yourself if you decide to, but ask yourself, where's the urge coming from?
What, the urge to better oneself? It's baked into us by evolution, because it's how we not only survived, but thrived, eliminating starvation and disease and creating levels of comfort, happiness, and satisfaction unheard of elsewhere in the animal kingdom.
What's your goal? Well-being or productivity? Because we know what the goal of capitalism is.
We know what your goal is, certainly. Capitalism is just a system of voluntary interactions. It's the collectivist language that's letting him gaslight. Capitalism doesn't have a goal because capitalism isn't a thing that exists. It's just people. And the unique thing about capitalism over every other societal system, especially socialism, is that with capitalism, you decide what your goal should be. You decide how much well-being is enough for you. Sorry, folks, I don't have a pithy ending for you here. I'm depressed at the thought that there are therapists out there horribly gaslighting their patients this way. It's bad enough when teachers and professors do it. Therapists are supposed to be people you trust the most. And at least with this guy, it seems you can't. So at least if you live in Portland, you know one guy not to go to and warn your friends against him. For everyone else, this might be a good test. Ask your therapist what he just recommended and see what they say. Therapy should be about helping you be the best you can be. Not about gaslighting who you are and pushing an agenda, especially a dehumanizing anti-capitalist agenda. So thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, and go to donate.bogosity.tv to keep me doing what I do. And check out all the great content here, like this video selected just for you.